them as the favorites because at this point, they're showing up against the world champions. It is going to be FPX fighting back for the reverse sweep to stay in playoffs, to make their name imprinted into the league once again and get to the finals. Top Esports are waiting. They're watching this series saying, who's it gonna be? The fans behind them, the beast getting spanked as we enter Summoner's Rift. A 2-0 start from JDG is not what we expected, but it's what we got, and we like what we see from Jingdong Gaming, while FPX are now trying something new to bring it back into contention. Welcome to Summoner's Rift for Game 3.
It's not that new is my issue with it though. Still 1-3-1 side lane split push. Still got, okay, LWX, yes, going towards this misfortune, but Doinby will be able to get the push pressure in this mid lane, which I think is kind of the bigger factor here, where Yugao doesn't have the same wave clear as Doinby does. So maybe now we get FPX going for these aggressive dives on the side lane.
Sir, Tien is lucky he did not get stopped in his back there. There were 3 people, and that would have just been first blood and possibly the biggest advantage for JDG here in this early game. So I was just a bit shocked at that. But now that we've got Tien moving up with a normal start towards blue, note that the ward that almost cost him his life is on the red buff to track where Kanavi goes. As there was a bit of a brawl early game, in fact. Actually a flash burn, excuse me, by Lumao, who's obviously gone for the Omnistone support.
So we do see the Omnistone support come out quite a bit when you lock in that set. Gives you access to the Hextech Flash, also gives you access to the Nimbus Cloak.
Okay, Dredgeline, Base Breaker comes through, and Lumao doesn't really have a keystone after using the Fleet Footwork, but now he's got himself a bit of a phase rush, but that was not a good trade.
Well, this is the thing about taking this Omnistone, is that you don't get access to that Aftershock as often. So in these aggressive trades where Crisp is able to proc his own Aftershock, get the bone plating, in support versus support health, it will be the Nautilus who comes out on top.
FPX's bottom lane hits 2 first, JDG have to back away. Now, Omnistone here in the LPL has been the go-to for the supports. It's actually the only rune we see anymore on set support. And I know, Dagda, you've been talking about the Hex Flash in the previous days. Also, Nimbus Cloak's a bit OP, isn't it?
Yeah, it works super well for him, and it is a very much a lane-focused style of build coming through from the set, where you want to try and get this rolling. But as you can see, you need to get on towards LWX in this situation. Otherwise, the trade can be turned by LWX.
Meanwhile, we look towards Yugao because Tien's coming in. Pillar is available. You saw that Kanavi is actually behind him. Pillar to get the slow. FPX are moving into this choke. Kanavi looking for Doinby here with the Sonic Wave, but doesn't throw it out in the end. Back to the camp, back to farming, and junglers back to their business.
It's because it was called Crisp was roaming up, and this has been a classic from Crisp, is getting these early roams off. Level 2 on the Nautilus, trying to get in towards the mid lane.
But we're looking top again, Dagda. You know why? Because it's a bit of action. But you talk about roaming, and suddenly I'm back mid. Okay, never mind.
We're looking like a bit of an Old Spice ad here. Back to mid, back to top, back to me.
Back to the jungle, back to the steal from Kanavi. He picks up the red buff, and Tien has to back away. So nice little takeaway there from the Lee set.
So Kanavi, this time falling behind when it comes to jungle camps being stolen. Yugao not able to get across to help out. Gimgoon is controlling this top lane pace, which is why Tien is comfortable to invade on the top side of the map. And you can see now Doinby hits the level 4. The trades are going to go in favor of Doinby here, plus the push advantage. So we will see if FPX now can enact their control in the early game.
Isn't it fun? Because it's the old mid laner versus the new, but down in the bottom lane, we've got support versus support matchup. But Loken's going to be backing away, but now Crisp is in such a dangerous position. He has Flash. He gets denied here with the Face Breaker. He's going to have to burn it, or rather not, because here comes Tien. 3 versus 3. Dredgeline connects. That's the weak support. He has the Haymaker. He gets the shield, but the re-engage is there. The heal doesn't keep him alive. First blood to FunPlus Phoenix this time.
And that's why JDG had started to roam away. They knew that they had too many members on FPX moving. Doinby had started to leave that mid lane. Tien was waiting in the wings. And FPX do get off to the start that they wanted finally in this series.
The kill over to LWX is massive as well here. Stays in lane, able to shove it out. And so that early gold lead justified here for FPX in Game 3.
So what FPX will be looking to do is trying to run off the pressure of the 4-man unit, with Gimgoon staying in the side lane to farm up. So when we get to these objectives, it'll be on LWX and Doinby to churn out this damage, with Crisp and Tien providing that front line for LWX's bullet time.
We haven't talked much about top lane, but this is the same matchup we saw game 1, just in reverse of players. Gimgoon also is a big GP lover, but Zoom is the best GP in the league, if not the world. It just hasn't been tested on that international stage. But the matchup going like we saw it in game 1, big CS lead here for Gimgoon in the early laning phase.
Crisp roaming a lot, though, means that he's starting to fall behind in levels. Trying to set up Doinby here and make it easier for him to push out this wave because he's falling behind on CS. Lumao spots that, though, and now he wants to keep it in check.
I guess the camera's like, oh, Kanavi's low. Let's have a look and see what he's doing. He'll be fine, though, but Predator on Lumao. I mean, this is what he takes on his Bard when he's down the bottom lane, so he loves this summoner. Probably happy he could get it for now. Sorry, Vroon. Excuse me, but Dagda, I want to bring you back to a bit of story, because remember what I started at the start of game, excuse me. Yagao came into this roster 2018 spring. Doomby left at the end of 2017. It is the old versus the new of JDG mid laners, and Yagao on this LeBlanc, this is his iconic champion, while Doomby's is the rise. So they're pulling out all the stops here in game 3.
And it has to be done. This is potentially FPX dropping out of contention. I mean, in the semi-finals as well, it would be a repeat of that 2019 spring that we had only 1 year later.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a 3-2, right? It would be a 3-0, but with an early gold lead like this, talk about FPX in the driver's seat at the moment, because that's what it is. 10 CS lead down the bottom side, and Tien is hovering around this mid lane, giving safety to Doomby in this laning phase. He's keeping up with CS. He's already got the tier, and now enabled to go towards the bottom side, which we know from FPX has been their identity in the past.
You can go for these heavy dives here as well. Yes, Lumao will be difficult to take down, but Loken, not so much, especially when Chris can land a hook on towards the AD carry. Yeah. Kanavi's up top side. There's nobody to help out if you see this dive come through. Yes, you have FPX turning over towards the Dragon, but I think Loken and Lumao, having no vision on where the members of FPX are, should be backing away.
We're just watching the blue buff getting traded across by Kanavi meanwhile. Also note that Gimgoon with the ulti, it's never really the amount of members you see on your screen. It is going to be FPX with the first Dragon of the game. Bit of cooldown reduction, Infernal soon to come, and are you ready? Loken and Lumao against Tara, but it's not happening here, Dagda.
Loken and Lumao are actually playing this pretty greedily, because you've got no teleport on Zoom, you've got a cannon barrage on Gimgoon, Doinby has been missing for the longest of times on this bottom side river. That was incredibly risky for Loken and Lumao to stay and try and pick up this farm. And
they'll say, doesn't matter, we made it. Because at the end of the day, they did. Receiving the wave at the turret, as you mentioned. But still, I'm pretty concerned just for the laning phase itself. Not outside of the global play. Because 72 CS with a misfortune has just gone back for Berserker Greaves.
And that's the reward that JDG will get from playing this very greedily. They can shove in, have Lumao start to roam. Loken will be able to back here or just run straight towards that Rift Herald while having the push advantage. You can see LWX has to go down and collect this wave. So now you've got man advantage for that Rift Herald.
Ooh, flash away. Especially by himself at the moment. That's how LWX has to play it, while Crisp is going to help shove out this mid wave. Both these supports been roaming spectacularly here through this series.
One kill onto LWX and also having that bullet time available. FPX, if they want to look towards this Rift Herald, would love to have this misfortune start to roam now. Fortunately though, hasn't actually made a move, so JDG are getting control back around this Rift Herald pit, which is super important for them, especially when Yagao is going to be looking to make these picks and poke and prod at FPX before that fight actually kicks off.
Lost Chapter, a meaningful buy from him as well with the blue buff in hand. Means also he'll be able to shove this out pretty damn quickly, and then JDG walking towards the pit, going to be spotted out by a control ward. You can see FPX actually not making any moves. They don't care. They're just going to let this one go.
And this is something FPX have been doing a lot, and I'm not a fan of it, is giving over these objectives where they actually have the opportunity to fight.
Maybe not.
Now LWX is scuttling his way through the river, but it's too little too late.
Yeah, I was about to say, it does feel like it's a bit too late. FPX, however, with the Realm Warp, make it not so. Only at 1k, they're going to run in anyway. hit, stolen away, never mind, Dagda. It ain't late until that Rift Herald goes down, and it goes down to Tien.
Kanavi and Lumao were fumbling around with it. They didn't try and burst it. Again, not knowing where FPX was.
Over the wall, though, you can see Doomby's going to walk on forward. Shane not going to connect from Yagao. And with Rift Herald now in hand, FPX, the driver's seat here in this third game, is definitely up to them.
I'd love to see FPX use this towards the top side as well. Just start to accelerate Gimgoon. You see he's working up towards his Triforce, and if you can get that top lane turret down in favor of Gimgoon, then start to rotate around the map and use the pressure that Gimgoon has to just massively accelerate on the side lane and cause issues for JDG.
I was just thinking, sorry, Dagda, I had a moment
Don't
where
hurt
I thought about 2019. Do you remember that Yagal's worst champion was Ryze? Remember he was 0 and 11 on it in 2019? Like, it was a horrible win rate. Going up against it here in Doomby, I was just kind of mesmerized for a bit thinking, Yagal's Ryze did not look this good last year. Now going up against Doomby on his best champion in the LeBlanc. He's actually ahead by 10 CS here in the mid lane. So keep an eye on that matchup there, because we have been talking a lot about the other lanes. Also note that Gimgoon is down in CS, and he just lost to Plate.
This is not the way this matchup is supposed to be going, and I mean, if we're looking at who owns the crown of the Gangplank champion, I'd definitely be giving it to Zoom so far. He's had the far bigger impact on this, and this is why trying to accelerate this Gangplank could definitely help out if we're talking Rift Herald positioning, just because Gimgoon hasn't been able to get the same control as Zoom did. Even with the Grasp of the Undying procs being able to push in, more activity towards the top side has meant Gimgoon hasn't been able to put as much pressure towards Zoom as we saw in that game number 1.
I mean, that Rift Herald play seems to be causing the discrepancy that he's currently at, right? He's going to be backing now as well. Sheen already in hand, so expecting, the 3 components here is hello Tien, the flash, denied! But the face breaker doesn't make it so, it's a showstopper. I don't think Lumao wanted to bring him back in as the TP comes through from Doinby. It's 3 versus 3, but we've got the cannon barrage in the middle, and Lumao now gets rooted down. In front goes Chris. I guess it works out because Loken is now going to get knocked up with the bullet time as well. Chris with the 5-head play almost gets more for FPX.
And Yagao can't roam because Tian is pushing in this mid lane. He's forced to stay under tower, and now we can get to see this play happen from FPX. This is what we talked about. Enable Doinby in the mid lane to enable the map for FPX.
And give a build big LWX, if my words could be concrete enough, as this turret going to be first of the game here. And FPX ahead for what seems like the first time in a concrete balance hit in this series.
And it's not like we've got this scaling comp versus a mid-game comp really for FPX versus JDG. You've got LWX, yes, who will start to fall behind to Loken, but you'll have Gimgoon who will take over in the top side of the map. Doinby will start to have more pressure in these team fights than Yagao. So we've still got to be very careful on both sides. As you said at the start, Hysterics, it'll come down to execution of both these comps. And right now, FPX are giving themselves that edge with the gold lead.
Curious if JDG are going to start this one, though, because Dragon's going to get pulled out. Tien is still here. Dragon going down pretty quickly. He's going to walk at this one. They're going to take the 50-50, and they lost it. What a surprise. Tien gets pulled on in, but he's rooted down with Gravitum, and he'll die in the end as well. TP comes in through from Gimgoon, and Doomby walks in as well. Zoom on the back of this fight. The kick onto Chris sends him into the oblivion. 2 kills for JDG at the cost of losing the Dragon.
You'd be happy with that for JDG. You just wanted a bit of gold going back in your favor. And now, with all the members who have grouped up on this bottom side, they can move towards mid, try and get something for themselves. But when you've only got a couple of seconds remaining on towards these turret platings, I don't think they'll be able to get any more gold out of this play.
It's all LWX just pushing the bottom wave, which doesn't have a turret anyway, and leaving that wave to go on its way. As you mentioned, turret plating disappearing. I've got some other timers we're going to start looking at with the Herald about 3 minutes away. TP actually used here by Zoom to get back up in the top wave. Gimgoon almost gets pulled in. But Trinity Force and Protobelt now picked up for both these top planers. And Orange going to be used to be healed up here. So we're at a point in the game where these first items are coming across. And now we have FPX with 2 Dragons under their belt and an Ocean Salt for a machine gun Ryze.
So this is where JDG will need to start setting up a little bit earlier for these objectives. We haven't seen Yagao having the impact we were hoping for him as much on this LeBlanc before the fights kick off. Yagao's been doing a great job throughout the split of picking off members of the enemy team right as these objectives are about to spawn, but without the vision control for JDG, they haven't quite been able to get that set up for you.
It also feels like Chris roaming to the mid lane a couple of times, Tien shadowing as well, has been a core factor as the flash away We speak of the devil here. Zoom now stuck under turret, but 3 people sitting with FPX.
He has the Death Realm, though, so he can clear out this wave really effectively. Doesn't have the Hexprotect Proto Belt, but can still one more obliterate this one. And now you can't push in his FPX, because who starts off this? Is it Crisp? No, because he'll end up going down in the Death Realm to Zoom, and then you don't have enough damage as Tien or LWX to finish off the rest.
Tien,
if he leaves the tower, though.
Death Realm in, let's go. Who's he going to use it on? It seems Tien, in the end of the day, the bullet time doesn't work out. Now it's a 1 versus 1. Doombi is realm warped up here, and meanwhile Zoom is going to get a nice surprise when he comes out of the Death Realm. Tien almost goes down, but it is Doombi's kill at the end of the day. While JDG hold control bot, FPX commit top.
But JDG are pushing in bot, they're pushing in mid as well. Loken trying to hammer down that turret against Gimgoon. Decent wave clear from the Gangplank. Should be able to get this one away. Although Cannon Barrage is gone, so it will be a trade of 2 towers for 1.
Yeah, I believe he used it on the bottom lane turret, so there we go. JDG trading the big numbers here in Game 3.
And this is where we've seen the evolution of JDG from 2019 to 2020, is having more control on these side lanes, on these waves. So even when they get in situations like this, oftentimes they are trading up, like we've just seen. That gold lead for FPX is very quickly starting to lessen. Only 200 gold between the teams.
It's cleaning up the shot calling. It's with Kanavi coming in. What did you call him? Special sauce.
The special sauce,
yeah.
the dumplings. Yeah.
Because the Dumpling Brothers are always situated here. Loken comes in as well, fixed up the bottom lane, but Kanavi over Flawless has been the best decision of a lifetime. JDG, although we're complimenting here in this game, they're still going to be losing another Herald. FPX have played this game better than their last 2, by far. Being more competitive here in the early game, have a great to lead, and can really push it forward here with the Rift Herald number 2. Now in the back pocket.
And finally, we're seeing the style that made FPX world champions. Getting control of this early game, pushing through side lanes, enabling a lot through bot, as you said, and now they've got another Rift Herald which they can use to crack open this mid lane turret. And as JDG, actually, they're invading real deep here to try and get onto Doinby.
He's going to walk into this blind as well. Peekaboo! World champion mid laner. Who cares?
And this is how Yigel plays this LeBlanc, getting the picks early, setting up JDG for their man advantages, and now they can start to aggress towards this bottom side. The issue, though, is too many people pushing on this bottom lane will give FPX that Rift Herald play in the mid.
And that's a big pick for Yigel, right? That's a big pick. Puts JDG in a pretty comfortable position to receive these waves, get some of that deeper vision around the Ocean Dragon coming up next.
And look at the pressure JDG are being able to create now. Even though you would expect that FPX with a Gangplank and a Rise would be the ones controlling side lanes, JDG are doing a good job of answering for that threat and setting up, as you said, for the likes of this Dragon in just a few moments. Vision control is a lot better for them, so keep your eyes on Yigel, who needs to back fairly quickly, or actually I think he's picking up the blue buff now to give him the mana for this fight that's about to start.
As you say, there it is in his back pocket. Level 12 here for Yigel. Doombi is level 11. Tien up towards the top side now. He could just be ignoring Dragon completely to get this inner turret instead. He's actually going to back as I say that.
You want to try and use it to crack open this mid lane turret instead. That's the one thing that's stopping FPX from getting full control of this top and bottom side jungles. But with that late back, they hand over the Dragon to JDG. Now, it's not really an issue for FPX. It's only the first Dragon of the game for JDG. It's more about making sure that JDG can't compound this issue and get more Dragons at the later stages.
And you've got Oceans building up. Again, JDG are also a team that with Ocean Soul on the horizon, that's a very dangerous imbalance that you do not want to play with, especially when you have a Felios on your team and a Mordekaiser who no doubt is heading towards his second item in the Leandros.
Look at how much gold Yigel is getting stacked into him, though. He's consistently in these side lanes. Now a 30 CS lead over Doinby, who should be the one in the side lane with the teleport, but it's Yigel who's doing a great job of finding these openings to get more gold, more experience into him, and he's now got a 2-level lead over LWX, working towards a second item. LWX needs to be so careful as to how he posts up with this bullet time in fights, because Yigel could be around any corner.
We look towards Yigel as one of the best LeBlancs here in the LPL. If you haven't watched JDG before, you've seen Yigel like over previous years. You might have missed out on the 2019 spring, as Chris was missing out on his life there. Loken is pushing up here with the rest of JDG grouping up. Looking towards time, and there is Baron available in 15 seconds with Yagao off of the side lane.
Yagao stealing away the blue buff as well, so now he's got even more pressure on these side lanes, but actually looking for Gimgoon.
Getting stalked here by the LeBlanc. It's again another peekaboo. The orange is available. Barrel going to be put on down. Yagao jumps on in. Double distortion here, but the minions doing a bit of dirty work as well. Both at half health. Gimgoon a little bit lower. Almost a solo kill, but now they know LeBlanc's top. As Zoom is going to be looking for Doomby here in a 1 versus 1. Death Realm around the side. Now at this point, Doomby is going to try and realm warp to the other side. As out of the Death Realm, he's now, where the heck is he?
He's running rings around him. Didn't take the
He
warp.
didn't take it, did he?
No. So now JDG will all collapse onto this bottom side to try and keep Zoom safe. But
this is why you don't toggle vision. We got to see it at all times.
The issue here, though, is Gimgoon used the teleport to get towards that bottom side. Rift Herald in the mid lane, though. There is the opportunity for JDG to try and clear this out.
Okay, all members of FPX, though, grouping up mid. Yagao here on a flank. Look at where Gimgoon is, though. He's starting to group. Rift Herald not going to be getting a second charge here, but the engage from Chris while Gimgoon getting spotted out. Yagao for the 1 versus 1. He says rematch, round 2, and it's my time to take it.
Now, though, JDG trying to clear out these waves, push forward once again. Now you've got Zoom uncontested in this bottom lane, shoving in. JDG pushing forward, getting vision around this Baron off of just that one pick.
I mean, again, it's another pick comes through from this time only Yagao. As we finally get to see this one again.
So this is where the call is always in Doinby's favor. Do I take the realm warp or do I not? So, oh, actually.
Oh, because it's in the Death Realm?
Maybe he doesn't take that. Looked.
What?
What?
That's funky.
So I thought he'd actually walked out of it.
That's why I was like, hang on, where is he? That is funky. As Doomby is probably really happy about that one. I think Zoom would be pissed off. As Yagao's going to be running away. The cannon barrage used again. Yagao low. And now Doomby with the pressure of this GP in a side lane starting to really ramp up.
The problem here, though, is Gimgoon now has no cannon barrage, now has no teleport, whereas Zoom does. So with Yagao backing and re-entering onto the map, JDG have got full map pressure to try and use for Zoom on a side lane, but JDG has not opted to use this. Instead, Zoom playing towards the top side, playing towards this part.
So Dagda, we're at a point where gold is just about even. JDG have fought back well from the early game shenanigans that FPX built this game on. I was going to ask you a question, but I'm going to stop because Showstopper comes on in. Kanavi with the kickback onto the 80 carry, and that face breaker from Lumao does exactly that. A good bullet time, but the Aphelios ulti burns everyone. Yagao comes in for the mighty flank. Gimgoon setting up his barrels here, but never mind that. They need to get out into the realm warp, escape. FPX cannot run into JDG.
But JDG can run in towards Baron now. That was a fantastic play. The kick from Kanavi for the flash face breaker from Lumao. That was, oh
sick.
My god, that was sick.
But now we're in front of the Baron. As you mentioned, a ward is here, so FPX need to contest. This Baron will push ahead. JDG as Yagao is the person off to the side. Tien looking for an angle in this one as well, but with the Aphelios, they do this quick. FPX need to get in it now. Tien at 2k needs to go in the back of the pit looking for the steal. Baron is stopped for now. This one comes through, but it's secured by JDG. First kill of the fight as well. Second kill of the fight. Over to this Mordekaiser. The third with Loken. Ninja Gaiden back here in League of Legends again.
The triple kill for Loken, the Baron for JDG, and suddenly the gold lead swings in favor of the upstarts. JDG looking to take down the world champions in Game 3.
That's a big swing, Dagda. 4K, Ocean Soul on the horizon. Yes, it's a couple of dragons' time, but you just aced FPX, and you're running at mid with this Aphelios.
You're getting a mid lane turret, you're getting a top lane turret, you're getting a dragon. Look at this gold just exponentially rise for JDG. And when we look at the execution was what we put out before this. How do FPX play through side lanes? How do JDG get picks with Yagao, but not pointing out Kanavi? Because that play to start things off was amazing. He gets the pullback from FPX. He gets the Baron in the 50-50. And from this point on, Zoom in the midst of everyone is massive.
Look at Loken flash forward here, man. Holy. This game, this series, is JDG's for the taking. I came into today expecting this to be close, but JDG have shown us there is no way that FPX stand a chance here. against this second seed who are poised to strike and make their way into the grand final against Top Esports.
You come into the mosh pit against JDG and they'll beat you every time with experience. FPX are not able to fight in these scenarios because Tien flashing over the pit to try and get the steal separates him from the team. Doinby and Gimgoon don't have the damage right now. I mean, look at Gimgoon's items. Compared to where we were in the game number 1 with Zoom, he's only got an Essence Reaver and Triforce.
Funny that you use the word experience there, Dagda, because FPX are the ones who have experience here. They've got the world stage experience. They've got a synergy in the bottom lane that is extended now for 5 years. Doinby's been in the LPL for a little bit longer than that as well, starting on QG Reapers. JDG don't care. The new mid laner from JDG, Yagao, is performing so much better here than the world champion super carry Doinby. And now, turrets dropping like flies here across the map. 6k gold lead. This Baron buff has done its job.
And remember, for JDG, 3rd in summer 2018 where they lost to Rogue Warriors in the playoffs. 2nd in spring 2019 where they lost to IG once again. Now though, they are looking to push themselves into the finals and finally try and make it to that international stage.
And in our marquee matchup, the Mordekaiser has shown as AKA Zoom that he can play both ends of this matchup nicely. As we look towards Yagao on a side lane, we look at Zoom in another. Baron buff is going to stop it. Tien almost gets stopped in his trap. Here comes the Realm Warp though. Yagao jumps back in and ignites. What a big ballsy play. Will he die because of it? I don't know. The damage on top of Gimgoon. The clone absorbing the turret. He's running away. His team saves him. Yagao is the best mid laner in this series by far. The bullet time comes through. The fight continues here. JDG under turret, the showstopper. They want to end it right here. But is this presumptuous? I think so. Lumao a bit too far forward. They felt the heat. And JDG overstep.
And JDG get burned. They get the amazing play from Yagao, who's making a point of best LeBlanc in the world in this game. But unfortunately, they go too far. You have the dive come in from Zoom. He's not tanky enough to try and survive all that turret damage. You also have Lumao who's gone so far forward that you can't have this Aphelios close the distance. Loken is trying to catch up with the play, and as a result, FPX turn it back around.
The magic belongs to Yagao. Watch this beauty again.
So well played by Yagao. And Tien being disrespectful here. The double distortion comes back with the ignite. And even here, Gimgoon, I wasn't certain that he was going to win that either, especially when he ended up getting the parlay onto Yagao rather than the barrel. I wasn't certain Yagao wasn't just going to turn around for the double.
Tien cut that replay a little bit short. He said, oh, we don't need to see anymore. I know what happened here. 3-0 and 4 here on the LeBlanc. 3 items strong here for Yagao. He has never lost on this champion. 8 games in the regular season, 30 KDA. He's building on this. He's looking for number 9. He's looking to beat Doinby at Rise, his best champion, that no one else is willing to play at the moment. It is all JDG all the time here. Now, granted, they made a mistake in base, but the third Ocean's coming up. JDG hold control, and a Baron in less than a minute as well to look to decide this series.
So even though JDG make the play, don't forget they don't get the structures in the base of FPX.
Hang on, Dagger. We're going to have to wait because Yagao poking his head over the wall. Flash forward. Chris goes to the engage. Actually finds the 80 carry. Bullet time as well. Beautiful before Loken goes golden. But the 80 carry is so damn low. They finally find him. FPX with the numbers advantage until in comes the solo lanes. Gimgoon running against Lumao. And in the Death Realm, Doinby, Zoom go head to head. And FPX finally fight back.
Kanavi, though, looking to try and get onto Doinby.
He was close enough. Here comes a Realm Warp to get out of harm's way. Forward they go. Death timers massive here for JDG.
There's a lot of damage that can come down from this squad as well. FPX could look to just close this one out.
No way. I mean, this team was about to lose the series. Narrative aside, FPX, they say let's go.
How many times have we said you can only make one mistake against FPX though?
Going golden, trying to delay time. Loom out in front of the turret as well. FPX find the support. Kanavi goes in for the kick and he dies as well. The flag is raised. The series not over. FPX make one fight a reality as Loken looking to come in. Low health bars. Season 10 gets one. The other, the ultimate comes through. Loken's hitting them. The next is exposed. Oh my god! This champion is ridiculous.
Are you you for real? JDG hold on by the skin of their teeth. Now the long death timers are on the side of FPX. Baron is available. JDG can look to take it.
I mean, the death timers were massive. That game should have been over.
There's no wards even for FPX. There's no way for them to try and sneak into the base. JDG have managed to hold it.
Somehow, some way. We were talking up JDG. This fight was all FPX.
This fight was all Chris.
Yeah.
Finding that flash hook onto Loken was the decider for this fight. No damage from the Aphelios. LeBlanc does not have enough damage to carry these fights, even with Zoom trying to get onto the back line. And FPX finally found their fight, but can't finish it off.
Nexus exposed, control ward placed down, no backdoor shenanigans. But FPX can win fights. They can, if they kill Loken. If Loken dies, FPX continue here in the series. If not, 3-0 on the line.
This is the fight that she wants to talk about, but Loken manages to get a lot of those chakrams off very quickly, which sets this up. So when you get that Q coming through from the Calibrum, the sniper is able to shut down Doinby off of just one shot.
It's always me. I always cast Aphelios. It's
you
always
know,
me.
Hulk, is it okay? You're okay. The bad man can't hurt you if you ban him away.
He's got 4 items. Now, I know he's fed, but Loken is beyond fed. He's massive. 350 CS at 31 minutes here. There is an Ocean Soul in 4 minutes. Baron was secured. And right now, JDG on the defense, waiting for that inhibitor to respawn. And FPX know it.
Yigao doing a good job here, though, of looking to clear out the vision from JDG. Knows about that control ward in the river brush, so looking to just see if he can get the flank off. But FPX keeping themselves in check, moving around the space. So, well, Yigao can't get onto them, but Gimgoon nearly gives it to him.
I mean, that's another point, right? If Yigao finds a pick, then FPX are going to lose those numbers. And that's another threat here. But Doomby in a side lane, meanwhile, going to get the shove up here. Ping's still down. Super's pushing in, and they're gone in an instant.
So Doinby trying to use his split push pressure now. He said how heavily this team could work in side lanes. Haven't seen it come to fruition just yet, but at least now, with the teleport advantage, Doinby getting down pressure in the bottom side of the map, can now look to rotate top and try and crack a few of these tier 2 towers.
Pings are going down from FPX on our way towards the Nexus. I don't know what that means. That's a pretty hard push.
Or do you have to push? This is the thing, don't forget, there's realm warps available for Doinby. They could, with the pressure that they're getting on these side lanes, shoving in the waves, they can look to realm warp into the base. The issue, though, is every second they're using on these side waves, their inhibitor has an opportunity to respawn. So they need to try and make this play fast, and I don't think they're going to have the opportunity to try and do so. But again, see the pings.
I have to apologize to our audience. I really thought that JDG held the driver's seat. That last fight from FPX made me really reconsider how this game's going to go. And we're at a point now. Super's still channeling through the mid lane. That inhibitor not up yet.
Loken does have his flash coming back up, which is the crucial part of this entire thing. If he can avoid the likes of Chris getting onto him, or maybe Doinby on a side flank, well, then he should be able to dish out the damage that you just saw at that Nexus fight.
Let's see the balance of power between these two teams. FPX are fighting for everything on the line. Gimgoon in a side wave here yet again. Zoom takes no damage. He's at that point in the game. FPX are grouping. You talked about the Realm Warp, Dagda.
Inhibitor nearly about to respawn, though. They're better off just going for these turrets. Play it by the book. They will look towards this bottom lane tower, and at least that will, again, give FPX more control in this game, putting pressure across the board. FPX fighting as the world champions to keep themselves in this semi-finals.
Oh, man. You can see how defensive JDG are. They don't care about that inner turret. They just want this game to stay alive and to complete in their favor. Inhibitor now up, so Nexus is invulnerable. The back door works for Inhibitor, but then it's going to need a lot more time here. So Doomby back to a side wave. Note that Ocean Soul's up in a minute 10. Baron in 2 minutes. That's what we're playing for.
And I want to see JDG playing towards that vision that we talked about, getting control of this objective to set up for Yagao. FPX have already done a great job of getting vision on the way back out that now needs to be addressed by JDG, or else you can have Gimgoon with this deep flank, or even Doinby with this deep flank.
FPX are moving as a unit. Looking here, Yagao has to disappear. They knew that Yagao was off somewhere, looking for the pick that ends the game.
That's how you deal with this LeBlanc. It's as a stacked unit moving in, so Yagao can't find the opportunity for that pick.
Okay, Barrel not going to trigger onto Loken. Yagao behind once again.
And don't forget, if Yagao gets a kill here with the death timers, there's no way that you'll be able to fight for either the Dragon or, in a couple of seconds, for the Baron as well.
JDG are holding positioning towards the Dragon area. At this point, the Soul, Ocean Soul to lose with that is near impossible, as we've seen in games, especially with this Aphelios. So, Yagao here, sitting on a bit of a ward outside of the pit. Maybe not. Dredgeline not going to connect. The fight's going to begin. Lumel in back with the face breaker again, but into the back. Tien tries to get this AD carry. Loken is helping for now. The True Shot Barrage comes through, and again, JDG trying to push forward, but they're getting burst down by FPX.
Look at Loken.
Trying to look for Tien as well. You talk about Loken, he's run forward. Aphelios onto Doinby, and JDG just like that might have the series.
The white flag goes up as the emote. JDG have found the chance. They found the opportunity. They're breaking open the base.
And this time it's real. Who's back to stop this one? FPX don't have Aphelios. There's no way. And JDG, throughout all, were expected to be the underdogs against the world champions. But they shine, they rise in front of the Phoenix, and JDG will 3-0 the 2019 world champions to make it into the final and face off against Top Esports.